The innovative seal. 2 players, 2 dictionaries. I've got the American Heritage, he's got the Webster. Together, we are going to combine different dictionary definitions by which to have a new innovative quality by theme. This theme is innovative ideas in general for the success of the American economy. It's got to first be effective to raise the U.S. economy, bring more jobs, and bring more foreign investments to America. I'm going to take the lead on this one, start the first. Open dictionary random, despair, to lose all hope, and rubble. Let's go quickly. Rotunda, a circular building, one with a dome. Let's make the dome a symbol of hope. Therefore, the dome, for example, of the White House, symbol of hope. The dome of the Library of Congress, that the symbol of hope and the message of hope is represented by the dome. That's my innovative idea to bring more business to America, raise American economy, bring more jobs to America, and foreign economies to invest in American industries by making the dome an American symbol for hope. Your turn.
Well, the dome has always been, it's always been a sign of, I think, Western civilization, not just of America, because the dome first appeared inside of Rome. Which, all of Western civilization, America's part of Western civilization, has gone ahead and traced itself back to Rome. I mean, the reason why we do have domes on the Senate building, or Capitol building, domes in the White House, domes inside of a lot of sort of classical architecture is because it does harken back to, harkens back to Renaissance, and the Renaissance harkens back to Rome.
So how would you innovate despair, which is to lose hope, and the dome?
Well, because of all the history behind the dome and so on, generally, well, not necessarily, but as part of it, in general, architecture and art in general reflects the times. And if you have a more,
more sophisticated dome architecture.
If you have a sophisticated and architecture that goes ahead and strives after beauty, which right now, currently, that's where it's. I think we're having a shift away from brutalistic architecture and more into things that are striving after different kinds of beauty. And part of that is Romanesque architecture, which the dome the dome partially exemplifies.
So to raise the American economy, bring more jobs to America, and to bring more foreign investment in America to you is to make America more Romanesque in architecture?
I think it's to go ahead and move away from architecture that's sort of disdaining of beauty and disdaining of people, really, and bring back architecture that is for people and is in order to go ahead and show people what is beautiful and show them that things can be beautiful and show them both the purpose of what the building is and show them what and help to go ahead and suggest what their purpose within the building is as well.
Great.
Go ahead and give them the cues and so on for that.
Okay, your turn. 2 words. That's it.
Indiscreet and that's a little bit too easy. And felon.
It's your turn.
Indiscreet and felon.
It's gonna be positive. It's gonna have a moral sentiment of goodness with. So say the more discreet one is to his goodness, the more humble he is to his grace, the less chances he would bite the fruit of illegality. And the more humble we teach Americans to be in their discreetness, in their privacy, and also in their generous outpour of wisdom, the more we would actually increase our economy and level of respect in Asian nations that we do respect these sets of principles of humility and discreetness.
I think just as well, there are certain sections of the legal system which are pretty indiscreet with what law breaking is, where we're not starting to see a recession in, but especially during the 90s and early 2000s, we had a lot of minimum mandatory sentencing laws, whereby, regardless of the situations of the crime, of all the specifics of it, we still ended up with, regardless of what the context within it is, you still have to go ahead and you have to do this, regardless of, especially in regards to drug laws. You had a lot of situations where, well, none of it matters, but you broke the law, and the law says that you must also go ahead and do this. And really, the position of the judge was, in many cases, irrelevant in deciding what the type of punishment ought to have been. Now, sometimes judges are a little bit too harsh or too lenient, and the idea was that these laws would go ahead and help make it more, make the law more consistent in some ways, but it ended up missing the mark and going ahead and falling on being far too draconian and harsh. And so I think it's important to go ahead and figure out the real differences inside of whatever crime it is that you're committing, and figure out what it is, where it's best for someone to be placed, whether or not it's retribution or rehabilitation that you're looking at for, and figuring out which of those would actually be more helpful. If the person can be rehabilitated, then trying to, so that when they do get out of prison, they're not a worse felon.
Great.
And
so
then everybody does.
we should increase the supply of workers for the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
Increase the view of America not as a media law situation, and just to be a friendly place for good people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go with divagate, to wander or drift about, with mug, a heavy cylindrical drinking cup. It would be a mug that has a let's call it a screw edge within, as that when you drink the water, chances are will be more located at the tip of where you aim. So it's a mug, and within the mug you have the engraving of the screw piece. Therefore, the water itself will, I suppose, follow the edges of the mug. How do you think?
Well, you know how the other day a friend of mine had some coffee in a thermos. They poured it in right after brewing.
Sure.
And a thermos, it keeps it at whatever temperature you put it in. It's got a nice vacuum seal.
Mm-hmm.
But it kept the coffee at as hot as it was as soon as it was brewed for several hours. So neither one of us could properly drink without getting burned. So it'd be nice if there was some kind of mechanism with a vacuum thermos to go ahead and break the vacuum, so that then it can go ahead and cool down. And then when it's
of course, the screw device, maybe you'd have a rotating shaft to give air to the
break the seal, and then when rotating it, to go ahead and force the air out, and then reestablish the vacuum seal, and then maintain it at the optimum temperature. Now there are some that go ahead and do that, I think, with where it's uses an actual heater, and uses electronic sensors and microprocessor in order to go ahead and maintain that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's obviously going to be more expensive.
Maybe an internal fan, wouldn't you think? Rotating the shaft to the cylindrical.
I think it's more about going ahead
swirl
and using it as a mechanical vacuum pump.
A mechanical vacuum pump. There you go. Well, manually.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Okay, 2 words. Let's see it. Turning innovation into conversation. Inspired by? I forgot.
Let's see.
Idomatic.
Idomatic.
Gotta be random about it. Come on.
Peculiar to the patterns of expression of a particular language. Okay. So, idiomatic. I guess, so like an idiom.
Expression of a language.
And then endive. A salad plant closely related to chicory. I don't know what chicory is.
Let's look for chicory.
Alright. Let's see. CHI. I think it's CHIC.
Chicanery?
No, that's legal trickery.
No.
Chicory.
Chicory.
Oh, there we go.
Perennial
Perennial
plant.
with whose root is roasted, pulverized, and used as a coffee adjutant or adulterant or substitute. Leaves are eaten in salad. That sounds like an interesting plant. What was the first word?
New turn.
Well, chicory, anyways. That actually, I might want to look into that. Chicory and illustrate. Something that I saw the other day was people trying to go ahead and create the trend of setting up patent schematics for as pieces of wall art, for home decoration and so on. I thought that was pretty interesting. They were a little bit sort of forced, but if that sort of thing were to be expanded to biological diagrams of whatever, in this case it could be of this plant chicory, I think that would also, if the people who are interested in looking,
Rare plants. Rare types of that. Yeah.
Rare plants, but I don't know how rare this is. But if the people who are interested in having pieces of patent illustrations as part of their wall art, I think that there would be some amount of overlap between the people who are interested in that and who would also be interested in wall art of biological sketches.
Yeah, exactly. A combination of inventions and inspirations of these inventions. So say the inventions and the innovation, or the inventions that lead to more inventions.
And in this case,
cool.
diagrams of biological subjects. So in this case, this plant, but it could be animal.
It would be reflective also of those patterns. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, you were saying.
And like for example, I didn't think I would like the pen thing, but I wouldn't mind having an ultra realistic portrayal of plants and animals, and specifically inside of certain diagrams and so on. I think that would be very interesting.
Darwin style.
Yeah, Darwin and
the patterns of plants themselves and how they work. I mean, imagine, isn't the biology of certain types of plants a patent itself of how the plant works? Could that not be patented?
Well,
if you find a rare plant and you can diagram how it works, couldn't that be an engineering marvel or an engineering inspiration for something new? That's a cool research and interestingness.
I think some people have patented genetic modifications to plants to go ahead and make them produce certain things. I think those are patentable.
Of course, but the way that a new plant works, let's say like a Venus flytrap, could inspire a physical engineering of a new tool or a new. Interestingly enough, right? It would be like, for example, you'd have a sensor at the end of two grapples, unfortunately, but let's just say, and when it gets wet, something like that. Moving forward to our layout, an arrangement or a plan with Oreo, a songbird with black and bright yellow or green plumage in the male. Okay. So we go the layout of the art of the bird. It could then be a layout for a new painting.
Yeah. Perhaps
to have a background of a painting inspired by the plumage of different beautiful animals found in America.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That'd be pretty cool. Let's go to more definitions. Now the theme this time, though, is going to be the spirit of innovation for U.S. Army. Our inspirations, our innovations will be to help the U.S. Army. Okay. Yesterday was U.S. Army birthday, and they spoke of the spirit of innovation. So here for the Office of American Office of Innovation, 2 innovations, U.S. Army style. Let's see it.
Okay.
Let's go changing.
All right, changing, and then.
We'll read the definition. That's gonna help.
Changing. Past and past part. Interchanged. To substitute 2 things or 2 sets of things for each other. To interchange front and rear tires. To interchange ideas. To change places.
Okay. A mechanism of interchanging this with.
That's.
You've got to go weird and random, brother.
Loyal. Faithful to.
Person.
Okay.
So an interchanging of, let's say, of military cabinet officers, by the loyalty that they will have similar ambitions per battle, say for instance, or per experiment of peaceful cooperation. So let's say an interchangingness of